These next two pages I actually have taken from an Intro to AI course that I helped contribute to with my counterparts in the other ESDs. So there's one of me at every 9 ESDs, as well as our partners at OSPI. Point being, the information on these next two pages has been vetted by all of the EdTech coordinators across the state, as well as OSPI, and I would like to let that information speak for itself. So I'm going to provide a little bit of context here, but this is going to be a relatively short video, and then please read the information on bias, ethics, and hallucinations, and then the next one is around some policy stuff there if you were thinking about developing policies for your classroom or getting that conversation started at your school. So a couple of things. You've probably heard the term before, but hallucinations, it's when large language models just make things up. And the reason this happens is because large language models by design are relatively sycophantic. They are designed to find the most likely answer, but also kind of agree with you, because what's the point in a constantly antagonistic large language model? Not super helpful, right? Sometimes that is very helpful, and you can prompt it to disagree with you and find problems with what you're doing and give honest feedback, and that's super great. But if they were constantly trying to subvert you, that wouldn't be super helpful. So one of the side effects of that is they will hallucinate or just make up information that is just completely wrong, or find sources that just do not exist. And you need to be careful about that. And so I like to refer to it as like the Wikipedia problem, right? The information is largely good, but you got to engage in lateral reading to go to some actual sources and verify your sources there. A really good lesson for our students. And hallucinations are much, 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 much lower than they were when it first started. I'm not sure if you were if you went through the very first module, but I mentioned something called Brandolini's Law, which is essentially it's the order of magnitude it takes to fight misinformation with rational information is just completely disproportionate. And that's kind of the way hallucinations are here a little bit. They are very real, and it does happen every now and then in AI, but not like it used to. So, but no, that is tricky. It's something to be aware of. The bias portion, we have a tendency to think of AI as like, well, it's a computer. It's without bias. It's a machine. Well, it's still coded by humans. And if you I didn't do the quick draw activity in this module, but if you engaged in the quick draw activity where we were talking about machine learning, if I were to train an AI model to identify a picture of an apple, but then 100 people who were supposed to be submitting data to that, instead of submitting pictures of apples, they submitted pictures of books, then that AI model would identify a book as an apple. And that is the most simplistic possible way of trying to present that, but that is very much there. More information, obviously, there on the page. Ethical use can come in a lot of different forms. We talked a little bit about resource and consumption there, but especially when it comes to student information, just do not put student information in there. If you're going to be uploading information, it needs to be anonymized. It needs to be redacted, and just don't go putting in sensitive information to begin with. We are custodians of our students' data, and we are responsible for our own data as well. So all of those trainings, this shouldn't be like, oh my gosh, Big Brother's coming, and anything you put in there that's not it, but it's developing those habits to be careful with our students' data, very, very, very important. The citing AI is a little tricky. There are ways to do it. I think the APA actually recently put out standards for citing AI sources, so that there are resources out there for that. And then when it comes down to plagiarism, academic integrity, that is a little fraught, and there are some, I think it's on the next page, there are some frameworks for that, for thinking about that, but really it comes down to policy. If you don't have any reasonable policies that are co-developed with students in your classrooms, that is going to be a major headache. So now is a really good time to get out in front of that. And then the digital literacy and human oversight portion there, I think I mentioned earlier in this module, the human AI human framework there. Start with a human problem, involve AI in the process, end with human critical thinking and fact checking. crucial, crucial, crucial that we are not just creating things in AI and just putting them out there wholesale. The work should be human oversight, human critical thinking, human discernment. All right, take a second to review this framework down here. Reflect on that. No task on this page. That'll come on the next page. So once you're done here, go ahead and hit mark as done and move on.